I just spent like 20,000 years trying to get my tripod to stand. My dog is going to knock over my tripod. Come on. Come on. Come on. Dude, come on. Yup, see? Told ya. Hi guys, it's Bree. Okay, so I'm doing another sit down video today. So today I'm going to be talking about my experience with being a late diagnosed autistic. This is very nerve-wracking. This is a very nerve-wracking video for me to film. Also because I haven't really done like a sit down video in a minute. It's been a minute. So I was diagnosed with autism in November of last year, so 2023. I know that people don't use labels for it anymore, but my evaluator basically said that like she could tell within like the first 5 minutes that I was autistic, which was absolutely crazy to me because like like growing up, like I've always been in like special classes and stuff. I've been friends with people that have had autism pretty much my whole entire life. Probably like 3 years ago, I just kept like feeling like something was like off, so to speak. And I don't like to say that because like, I mean, it's my brain and my brain isn't wrong or off at all. I started to push for an evaluation because of me just getting taken advantage of by people. And then my therapist was like, she's showing signs of autism, but like she had kept notes for a while and she's like, I think you should get like evaluated. I want to preface this by saying that males are easier to get diagnosed because females tend to mask it more, and females get diagnosed a lot later on, so like 20s, maybe like 30s, 40s, 50s, so on, which sucks because like we deserve like to like find out early on. And like people say like, oh, women can't have it because they don't show the traits or whatever, and it's like bull. Like we mask it. We were made to feel like, at least in my experience, we were made to like feel bad about ourselves when we were younger, and we learn to mask it and it gets misdiagnosed as something else. It's very frustrating. Most of the time when I was younger, I often would say to myself like, what is wrong with me? That is really hard. In my own personal experience, I was made to feel bad because I was bullied for the way that I acted, or the way that I couldn't communicate, or the way that just like so many things. And like I feel like that's a big part of masking, and also like just or how to interact with people, or just the simple fact that like professionals and doctors aren't up to date, I guess, with like the criteria, because the criteria is mainly for boys. It's for men, it's for boys. Like, it's so frustrating because like I went half my life like being like misdiagnosed with bipolar, and I don't have bipolar. And even my mom was like, yeah, I don't think she has bipolar. Like, she doesn't exhibit any of the other signs of bipolar. Like, I was diagnosed with bipolar by a male doctor. So, if that doesn't tell you some stuff about, you know, doctors not being up to date, he was like, yeah, she doesn't have autism. Like, we've tested her for everything else. Like, she doesn't have autism. It's bipolar. And we were like, no, it's not bipolar. And it's not me just being a sensitive teenager. Because at the time when I was diagnosed with bipolar, I think I was 16, I want to say. 15, 16. It's very much so a sexism thing. Like, there's more so of the criteria that is able to like fit males, and I think that needs to change, honestly. Like, autism is a spectrum, so meaning like what I experience, somebody else who is autistic isn't going to experience, and what that person experiences, another person isn't going to experience that. So it's you know, a spectrum, and it's, you know, everybody has their own different things that make them them. I already feel like this is an awkward video. I'm overthinking it. I'm overthinking it way too much, and I just need to stop. Because this is like, I hope that like this video is gonna like help somebody, and like I need to stop overthinking. Easier said than done, right? I know that some people are probably gonna be like, well, why would you get diagnosed now? Like, oh, well, first of all, getting a diagnosis is not an easy thing at all. Like, it was so exhausting, let me just say that. And I'll get into like exhaustion like later in the video. Getting the diagnosis and like trying to get through the process, it was really, really exhausting. So like when I finally got the answer that like, yes, it doesn't change who I am. It doesn't make me less than, it doesn't make me more than. You know, I'm always gonna be the same breed that I that I have been. I wouldn't go through with it like if I didn't struggle as much as I do. Like for me personally, like I know how much I struggle. Like sometimes you have to trust your instincts, and it's really easy to have that like imposter mentality. I definitely did. Like, it's easy to get in your head and be like, oh, well, my, like, what I experience, like, isn't as bad as this person. Obviously, like, that's not helpful thinking, because your struggle is 100% valid. What you experience is 100% valid. You know yourself better than anybody else. So, I don't know, just, like, remember that, like, you know, when you start to get in your head, like, you know yourself better than anybody else. You know, you deserve to have an answer. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the traits, symptoms? I don't know. What do I call that? Okay, let's just go with traits, symptoms, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. Hopefully you get what I'm saying. So this kind of just ranges from, like, my childhood to, I guess, like, teen years, like early adulthood. Oh, by the way, I'm 25 now. I was diagnosed when I was 24. Let's get on with this motherfucking list. So, feeling bad about myself because I didn't understand something, having to be told over and over and over again until I get something, or like asking something over and over because I don't remember what the person said, or asking for a clarification. I was made to feel bad about that, and I didn't understand why. Number 2, feeling or getting super attached to people in my life, even early on in the friendship or relationship, because I view that person as nothing but good. This person can do no harm, even though they might. That's been like a forever thing with me. Not fitting in, like not being able to fit in with other girls. Like I've always had trouble making girlfriends in the past, and like keeping those friendships. Just mainly, like, I just don't know what it is. They're just so, like, a lot of girls are just so mean to me, and like, I mean, that's the reason why I mainly have guy friends, you know? I just, like, I try to be their friend, I want to be their friend, you know, but they look at me as weird, and they don't want to be friends with me, and I don't understand it. I just have trouble. I just have had always, like, the hardest time just, like, being friends with girls. Cyberbullied basically throughout my whole, like, elementary school, like, middle school, high school experience. Cyberbullied and bullied. Having such high anxiety, like, all my life. From the minute I was born, literally. I don't think that I've ever experienced a day without anxiety. I envy people that, like, don't have anxiety. Shutdowns. In elementary school and in middle school, that was the time period where I had the most shutdowns. That has to do with, like, selective mutism. You can Google it if you want to. Yeah, I had a lot of shutdowns in elementary school and middle school. I had a few of them like in high school, but not as bad. In 2020, I remember I had one like really bad. Recently, I've been having some come back. Basically, what it looks like for me is basically I'm in a frozen state. So like I'm unable to move. I like if I'm sitting, usually when I'm sitting, I'll stare into one space and not like have my, this is embarrassing to talk about. I feel like it's like embarrassing, but hopefully it helps somebody. I stare into space and I will not take my eyes off of that one space, and I'm unable to talk, I'm unable to move. I'm in a very frozen state. I'm wanting to speak, but I physically cannot get the words out. Also, yes, I can hear you. No, I'm not deaf. Do not say like hello, because like, and like don't get in my face or anything, or like wave your hand in front of me and be like, can you hear me? Like, hello. To me, it's disrespectful, and like, yes, I can hear you. I like, it just takes me a minute to come out of it, unfortunately. Like, it's just as frustrating for me as it is like anybody else that's like dealing with that whole thing. So, but I'm getting better at like, I guess like managing it and stuff, and like coming out of it quicker and stuff. So that's really good. I don't know if I could speak on it. I don't know, maybe somebody's gonna feel less alone and not feel like they're alone in that. I have felt alone a lot, like a bunch of times, and it's not fun. I never have met anybody out of all the years that like that's happened to me. I never have met anybody that has like experienced that, or like that had that, and so like I often like felt like alone. If you experience that, know that you're not alone. Eye contact is a big one. I don't know, my eyes like they go everywhere basically. It's tough to like know like when you're having a conversation with somebody like how to like look at them, you know, because like if you stare too long, that's like considered like creepy. Or if you're looking around too much, that can come off as like not, as like you not being like interested in like what the conversation or something. So that's tough too, because like, you know, you never know like how to maintain the eye contact or whatever. That's a tough one. I don't think I've ever really figured it out, but I try my best. So overly felt in emotion or caring intensely. I'm a deep feeler. I was actually put on like a lot of medication to like treat the bipolar that obviously was never there, and that I feel like that completely like messed me up in a way, like because now when I'm on medication, like it's hard for me to tell like if something is like working for me or not. But like I also had a hard time like identifying my feelings growing up too, but like I was never bipolar. Communication, I get told that I communicate really well and that I articulate things really well, but again, it's like that voice inside your head that's like you know, I beg to differ, you know, whatever. But like I feel like I do a lot better in writing, I guess, and like when I have time to think about things or like responses, I guess. I've also like spent time like copy and pasting like what I see from other people to kind of figure out like how to like communicate. I've also had like a hard time like with like facial expressions. Like my mom will tell me like sometimes like you're supposed to be excited about this one thing, like why aren't you excited? And I'm just like, I am excited, like I'm excited on the inside, just my face doesn't show it, you know. Feeling like an outsider because I don't understand like jokes that my friends make. Like I'll have a hard time like understanding, like if somebody shows me a video of something that they think is funny, like I'll have a hard time like laughing at it. I have a hard time with that, and I have a hard time with jokes sometimes, like understanding just why something is funny. I also am like sometimes unable to keep up with like high energy or like conversation. A lot of the time like I have trouble like processing and like, you know, taking in the information and you know, it just becomes a lot for me. And if there is a lot going on in a outing or an event or like a friend thing, sometimes it can overwhelm me. A lot of things exhaust me to the point where like as soon as I get home, I'm just like done for the day. And so I'm just like completely like exhausted for like the rest of the day. Or like trying to like get myself to like go to something. If I know that I have something to do, like I'll try to like give myself the proper like downtime, you know, just so that I'm not exhausted by the time that like I get to the outing or event or appointment, whatever. But usually like it takes me like a day or two like to recover from. Like it takes me like an afternoon, an evening, like say like something is in the morning, okay? Like it usually takes me an afternoon, an evening, a night, a whole day the next day, and then like maybe like half the other day, I don't know, like to recover from that outing or whatever. Like it just takes so much out of me, especially things that like take like a lot of like brain power for me. Like that's also another thing. Change in routine has always been really tough for me since I was like young. I don't really know what to say about that. I mean, it's basically what it is. Ordering the same thing off of menus because like it's familiar to me, and like I have always had like texture and sensory issues of like food. Textures of food bother me, or like being a picky eater like without the eating disorder that I previously had. I won't eat a last bite of food if I've touched it with my fingers. So like for example like fries or something like that, if I'm holding a fry, if like I'll eat up until it hits my fingers, but and then like I'll leave like a little bit of the bite like on my plate, if that makes sense. That is something that I've experienced like since I was young. Medication is also another thing. Like I can't swallow pills. I never really thought about it until after I was diagnosed. I was like, oh, that's probably like a sensory thing. I just for some reason cannot like fathom like a pill going down my throat like with liquid, you know what I mean? I don't know, like I just can't. I just can't. So everything has to be liquidized or like in a dissolvable pill, to where I can put it in like water or something. I have tried like therapy for that, but it just really hasn't worked that well. You know, it's taken all the encouragement in the world from like my parents and like my therapist and whatever, but like I just can't do it, man. I flap my hands at times if I get overwhelmed, or I will pick at my... In the past, I've picked at like my knuckles, or like my cuticles, my thumb cuticles. It was mainly like growing up, like I would pick at my thumb cuticles or like my knuckles, or I'd bite the inside of my cheek, my lip, until basically it was raw, pretty much. Loud noises, babies crying, raised voices or yelling, bright lights, flashing lights, big crowds, certain fabrics of clothing, like tags on clothing, the certain like shirt material, the list goes on, honestly. That is basically only half of what I've experienced, others of which I won't mention, but this is only some stuff. So there's so much of this that like of what I've experienced growing up that like I didn't know was related to that, and still have like this like imposter like mindset of like, well, am I really, you know, am I really autistic? Am I really like, or am I just like faking it, you know? But like it's proven in my schoolwork, it's proven in the way that like I've done things, it's proven in the way that like I communicate, it's proven in like a lot of my body language. It's proven countless years in schools and like documentation. I always have looked at those things as flaws, and I've always looked at those things as like negatives about myself, because again, it's easy to get in your head about stuff like that. Either I get in my head about it, or like people will make me feel bad, have made me feel bad about the way that I act or the way that I present myself. I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that frustration that I feel about my brain daily, because I do feel it daily, and it takes a toll on me, and it takes a toll on me and my brain and my mental health and my energy. It's hard to shut it off and extend the kindness that I give so freely out to other people. Like, take that kindness and extend it back to myself. Sometimes some things in life, they don't make sense, but I think like this makes the most sense. Like, this diagnosis makes the most sense, more than bipolar ever did. There's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with being weird. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. I don't know. Anyone that like tells you differently, pay no mind or pay no attention to people that like don't understand you, or like don't take the time to get to know you. Whatever you identify as, wherever you are in your own process of diagnosis, or you know, I hope that you get the answers that you're looking for, whether that be professionally or just, you know, self-diagnosis. Even if you're completely unaware that you have it, you know, it doesn't change who you are, and you'll find the qualities in yourself that make you you and unique. You'll find the people that are proud to be around you and that don't judge you for it, and can be as weird with you and join you in that weirdness and stuff. And to clarify, like, you're still you, you know, if you get diagnosed, you're still you regardless, and like, you don't need a label to clarify, because what you go through, again, is valid. It's actually quite interesting, because like, my sister was actually diagnosed with autism like 2 or 3 years ago now, and then I was diagnosed. So, and I often wonder if like my birth mom was autistic. She's passed away this year, but I often wonder that now, because I'm like, both her daughters are autistic, you know. I wonder, but I don't know, but it'd be interesting to know. But probably either way, we, you know, if she were still alive, that probably wouldn't be able to tell. I do wonder that often, but who knows? I really appreciate the subscribers that I've had recently and the views on my previous videos. I know that the topics were really heavy topics, and I just appreciate anyone that's like stuck around while I figure my stuff out. I'm still trying to figure it out. I really don't know what I'm gonna do next. Just thank you. I appreciate you watching this video. If you found me through the YouTube search, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this video helped somewhat. Please remember to leave a like and comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Leave some video suggestions for me down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.